Now, the fraud and corruption case of former eThekwini Mayor Zandile Gumede heads to the High Court in Durban today for pre-trial proceedings, and that's after nearly 3 years of delays and postponements in the case involving alleged irregular tenders for the Durban solid waste. That's the Durban solid waste tender worth more than 430 million rand. Now, the former mayor, who stepped aside from the provincial legislature last month, faces 2,786 charges, together with 21 other co-accused. ANC branches in the province have pledged their support during her court appearance, and other supporters as well, labelling her legal woes as a political witch hunt. Xolani Dube joins us now. He's a political analyst to unpack just the various issues around this case. Xolani, it's great to have you with us on the show in a story that's been dragging on for some time now. Let's begin here. You know, the supporters of Zandile Gumede pledging to come out to court ahead of that appearance this morning. What do you make of that kind of ongoing support in the face of these kinds of allegations?
I believe that is the result that how the ANC applies justice amongst its members. And there are those who feel that, look, the ANC justice got eyes. The ANC justice is like a cracking whip, aiming at dealing with certain people who are not in a particular, or who are not in an agreement with a particular faction. And so, in a way, what ANC is doing is strangulating our justice system, is suffocating it, and as we have seen it, the justice system has become a center of our discourse, and its sacredness is starting to be questioned. And so I think that is a very unfortunate circumstances when it comes to the South African justice. And so lots of people, not only the Zandile supporters, but everyone around South Africa are starting to ask if our justice system is still a sacred institution or is an institution that is used for political expediency.
From KZN to the Free State, we've seen supporters coming out for many leaders in the ANC facing corruption charges. I mean, various issues to consider there. For one, we are now in the grips of a third wave of COVID-19 infections. And of course, the other looming issue is local government elections are coming up as well.
Look, that's why I'm saying, you know, you are mentioning from Free State to KwaZulu-Natal, and look who are the culprits, or look who are the suspects, are those who are viewed to be opposing the current dominant faction in the ANC. And we've not seen those who are part of the dominant faction visiting courts. And when you talk about the issue of COVID and the supporters, look, I don't think that the whole government is leading us by an example, you know, because they say things that they are not at the end of the day honoring. You know, they tell us about wearing masks, they tell us about observing all the COVID protocols, but them in their own, in their organization, in their private spaces, they don't do that. And so I think also it shows the lawlessness in the ANC, with an expectation that the South Africans are supposed to also obey what they tell us when themselves are not obeying the laws of the COVID. And so I think ANC is a lawless organization with an expectation that the South African citizens are supposed to be law-binding, of which I think that might be very impossible.
She's still a sitting member of the KZN legislature, 21 other co-accused, 3 of those co-accused also sitting eThekwini ANC councillors. What do we read into that, Xolani?
That's what I'm saying. You know, it's just a lip service, you know, because even if you look or you read the ANC document, the organization members, they never agreed on step aside. They adopted step down, you know, and that's where the confusion emanated from. we are talking about step aside when the organization document talks about the step down. And so, as I'm saying, I don't think that the ANC really respects also its own document or its own resolution. Because if we talk about step down, that will mean that Zandile was not supposed even to go to the provincial legislature and was not even supposed to benefit any benefit that derived by the MPs. But, you know, as I'm saying, the step aside, I think it was kind of a safe house or a naughty corner for the ANC to say, look, while we still try to deal with you, we'll put you in limbo, and then at a particular time, we are going to dispose you. And so I think this is just the another mechanism of the ANC of checking the balance of forces to say if we totally deal with Zandile or any other member, what are the repercussions? You know, because look, how can you say you are punishing someone and then he enjoy all the benefits? ANC is not a labor organization, you know. It is a political organization. These are people that we elect. And so, but the way they operate now, it seems as if they're an employment agency, and these politicians have got what we call it, the labor rights and so forth, because you say step aside, but you get all the benefits. And that's why I'm saying they are not doing it for justice. They are not respecting their own resolution of step down, but they are trying to manage each other now.
I mean, do you get a sense that there is almost a fear? If you talk about the factions within the ANC, let's talk about the faction led then by President Cyril Ramaphosa. Is there a fear from the president politically to act and to act decisively in such cases?
Look, you have to understand that the power that we see is not the real power. There is power behind power. And those who are behind power is the ruling class that is behind our current president. And so those guys are very brutal, you know. They don't fear anything, you know. We've seen it before when what they've done in Marikana, and they don't mind to go for a kill, you know. And so to remove someone from the position for them is something that is of no significance. I think here, the person who's finding himself in a serious predicament is the president himself, who said, look, guys, we can't be that brutal, because once we do that, possibly at a later stage, that brutality can come back to me. And so I think the president is trying to manage his handlers here by saying, let's create this naughty corner, because even myself, I don't know what will happen in future. Because we know it very well that according to the ruling class, number of people could be behind jails. Look what they've done with the former president Thabo Mbeki when they were saying, look, this person has committed a genocide, is supposed to go to Hague and be prosecuted. Look what they've done with Jacob Zuma. They told us that this is the most evil person in the world when it comes to corruption or any other social ills, and this person needs to be disposed as part of our society member. And so I think Cyril has learned a lesson to say, look, here he needs to create a room so that even himself, he can possibly go back and plead to his comrade to say, look, I am not that bad. I've not done that evilness to you guys, and so please bear me some salvation. And so the ruling class is very brutal. They don't care. They can simply obliterate each and every ANC member. And so I think here, Cyril, he serves as a buffer between the brutality of the ruling class as well as the brutality of the ruling class to the ANC members, not because he's doing it for the love of the ANC members, but he's doing it for himself.
And as we talk about these various issues around political expediency, of course, we are, many parts of the country, in the grip of a third wave of COVID-19. Xolani Dube, thanks very much for your analysis this morning. And that's as we continue to unpack the fraud and corruption case against former eThekwini Mayor Zandile Gumede back in the Durban High Court, along with her 21 co-accused from this morning.